Today, remember to periodically turn off your electronics to give those electrons a rest. This is ChillPoint. Electrons, they get EP.
So what you're saying is every time the gaming console, probably a Nintendo one, because that's the one that always gets made fun of for it, tells you to take a break, it's not really asking for you to take a break so much as it might want to take a break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey everybody. Oh, welcome to ChillPoint, show where we talk about the week's video game news as well as the episode of Checkpoint that came out this week.
Nothing happened.
And also, yes.
Nothing happened.
Well, it's going to make this a short episode.
Yep.
We could just talk about video games.
I wrote about sex.
Beach did write about sex.
Sex.
What's
so unappealing about hearing your elderly podcaster talk about sex?
You gotta say it the way Graham said it. Beach wrote about sex. That made me genuinely stop watching what I was editing to laugh.
But yeah, let's look at
talk about sex
stories that we went through this week, which will inevitably lead us to talking about that story.
Yes.
But first, talking about steal a brain rot.
Steal a brain rot.
Yeah.
Which
Roblox
is
and Fortnite. Wait,
yes.
I don't understand the Fortnite.
I feel like
it's in both Roblox and Fortnite have like user generated content things, right?
Oh, I didn't realize Fortnite fell that far.
Oh yeah, Fortnite's got a lot of that stuff now.
Oh.
They've got the whole like epic creator thing.
Oh.
Where you basically can create maps for Fortnite.
But if Fortnite is free.
Yeah, well, Roblox is free
Roblox
too.
is technically free to start.
Depending on how much you value your
parts.
soul.
I thought the idea was that if you're going to play an experience on Roblox, though, that you had to spend like the 99 cents or something to buy one.
It depends on the experience. Some of them are free, some of them are charged.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the iOS store.
So we heard that there were 24 million players when you add up both Roblox and Fortnite playing this specific experience.
And we're not talking, that's talking concurrent players, which is pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
Now,
people really like concurrent stats now.
Yeah. Well, it's because of all the like subscription services and stuff.
Yeah.
They make it so that purchases are not that useful.
I've even read because I was reading some stuff about Silksong. I've even read arguments where people are like, "Oh yeah, this many concurrent players of Silksong," but like, it's a single player game. It's not a live service game. It doesn't need a concurrent count, right?
Well, but
again, that's how people talk now.
It's a general measure of popularity, right?
You telling me that people just running into events and yelling Silksong is not a measurement of popularity? It's not good enough for you?
Yeah, because those people won't necessarily buy the game or want to play the game.
I think, unfortunately, a bunch of those people did buy the game and are disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, steal brain rot. It's sort of I feel like it is kind of the epitome of the like, why does this exist? Grumpy yelling at clouds thing.
Sure.
And you know what? It's like we talked about another thing that was one of the more popular maps on fan made or user generated content for Fortnite was also just like a big hole. It's like a pit.
Everyone into the pit.
It's just this particular thing. I think from what I haven't done a ton of research into it, but I've looked at a couple like gameplay videos. I think it's sort of a capture the flag-ish thing where like you run and grab the meme from somebody else's base,
right,
and like run it back to your own base and then try to defend it.
Okay.
I think that's the general idea.
We think.
It seems easy enough to grasp if that's the idea. Sure.
And then different memes are worth different amounts of money per X amount, per minute or whatever that you hold them.
Okay.
But yeah, this in particular, this idea that it uses these brain rot, quote unquote, memes, which are sort of a specific style of meme, often using sort of based on like AI generated, like a weird AI generated image, and often a piece of like a name or a piece of text that will be in another language, like there's Italian or Indonesian apparently is quite popular and stuff. And then, but it's just sort of a word that people like the sound of.
Okay.
And then it kind of takes on its own thing. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's funny too, because like if you had this, if the game is simply just you capture a flag, and I just had like red flag, blue flag, green flag, yellow flag, and they each had like $100, $200, $300, $400 or whatever. It's like, would anybody play it?
Probably not.
Probably not. But there's something about the thing of like, oh, they put my favorite brain rot into this game, so now I can go and grab it and I can hang on to it and I can get all uptight about it.
Well, I mean,
or
it's probably
whatever.
seen as funny, right? Like
Yeah.
if there were memes in there that you cared about,
Yeah.
or like you might have more interest in that.
Well, like a few years ago, there was like a whole there was like somebody tried to make like meme game or something like that, where it was like all the memes, every meme shoved into this like weird platformer type thing, and it was just like a mess. Like a huge mess of just no matter what, if it's a meme, I just plug it into the game and we make that mean something somehow so that there's a game and people were just like, I don't want to be anywhere near this thing. This doesn't make any friggin'
Yeah,
sense.
I think it's hard because memes generally date something,
There's that too.
for one, but also memes are kind of a you're there in the moment thing. Like, what is it? Borderlands 3 had a bunch of memes in it that were so old because by the time the game came out that it already predated the game. I'm sure it's happening with the fourth one too, but it's that kind of thing of memes are kind of a in the moment thing because they might last a day, they might last 3 weeks, they might come back again in 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's part of the thing with these games. And again, we've covered like one or two other ones on ChillPoint of these sort of these games, either Roblox or the Epic content creation or Fortnite or whatever, where, you know, creating this game doesn't take a ton of time. Yeah. So you can be kind of...
Yeah, this is the kind of game where you could do a thing like that and have it kind of work for a bit, maybe.
And if the splash of it only lasts for a couple weeks, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's all it needed to be.
But also you can probably say, well, I'm going to release update 1.1, and you swapped out all the memes that were from last week that are now old and gray. Yeah, just add in the new ones. And that's...
Yeah, this is not the first Roblox game to have like a high number of concurrent players either. And I think that's probably the more maybe concerning part of the story, just because of how awful Roblox is in terms of a lot of its stuff as a platform.
Yeah, although, so the two things I would say is, one, a few folks in the comments to the YouTube video did point out that both Roblox and the Fortnite custom stuff are known for having a lot of sort of botting and that kind of stuff. Right. So the view numbers are not or the player numbers are not necessarily true that reliable.
Okay.
So, and you're really just using bots then to goose your numbers.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the creators who would be doing something like that to say like, it's like, I got to get this thing up to show it's popular. So I got to buy a million bots to play it. Well,
and it's the same thing as with any of these things, right? You know, once it gets to a certain level of popularity, you're at the top of the algorithmic popular things.
Right. So your thing's being shown off to more people.
So you, by having bots, you get more real users as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the other aspect of this, which was touched on a little bit in the article that Graham linked to on this, which was this Polygon article talking about saying, you know, that there is some concern, this idea that these kind of meme games or games like this become so popular. It's like, you know, you're a game developer working on something, and this is what becomes massively popular,
Yeah.
the incentive to work on your game starts becoming a little bit difficult too.
Yeah.
And so that aspect of like, if this is what people are playing, then, it's like,
Hasn't that always been a thing though? Like within the gaming industry of, oh, this is the hot genre, so now we get a bunch of those games, especially in like the AAA space, regardless of what.
But it's not
want.
even the like the sort of following industry trend. It's more the like low effort. It's like the sort of the YouTube thing where it's like the videos like, whatever AI slop or like drama post, sort of very low effort content on YouTube does really, really well.
Again, we see that on like Steam and like a lot of online stores as well, that kind of people refer to them generally as asset flips and such.
But the idea that could get this popular, which hasn't been necessarily the case before.
Right.
Like asset flips certainly have been happening for a while. But the idea that an asset flip could become one of the most popular games being played in a given week makes people concerned that nobody will care. Nobody will care about actual games. Or
I don't know. I feel like that's not a concern that's new.
But it's just more so because they didn't previously have 24 million concurrent players.
You'll probably end up having more than anything else. You'll have the finance people will be saying, why are we working on a bespoke video game about somebody being depressed and trying to get out of this terrible cycle that they're in. Why don't we instead do a game where we run around collecting memes, because that's the game that's hot right now? And the developers are like, because we have a story to tell and we have something interesting. We want to tell a story about this old man who is like going to pass away soon, but he wants to hug all the animals.
Sure.
And it's like, sure. And it's like, right, we get that. But can you also just throw a whole bunch of memes in there, make a multiplayer thing where he gets to hug a bunch of meme animals? And it's like...
that kind of thing already happens.
But that's what I mean, is I'm like, that kind of thing happens where you have finance people who are like, I'm not interested in your decisions of making a game. I'm only interested in making as much as possible off of a phenomenon that is occurring that I think is going to last for the rest of my goddamn life, NFTs, versus like this thing's going to last for 2 weeks and then go away. And that's what I'm curious about to see what happens. Is I'm like, I like that Polygon has written this article. I want to see how long this kind of thing will last for. Like, will this be a popular idea, or will the kids who are playing it be like, I don't go and play that anymore because everyone's playing that, and that's not the cool thing to do.
They'll move on to something else.
And in the meantime,
Is
you'll
that
have...
how you were as a kid? Like, if it was a thing that everyone was playing, you stopped playing it?
I ping-ponged between the thing of being like, oh, this cool thing is out and I want to play it and I want to share it with all my friends and we'll all love it and everything else. And then here's the thing that everybody is... Usually it's, here's the thing that everybody else is doing and I'm not. So it probably sucks because I'm not doing it and I caught there late, or I can't afford to do it, or I can't whatever. So therefore it must suck, because you have to... The whole like those grapes are probably sour anyway is a real phenomenon, right? You don't catch yourself doing it all the time.
I'm curious if you were that kind of kid, because I just generally didn't care. I just did whatever I wanted.
Like this, the fact that this isn't in Minecraft yet means that they haven't achieved true network singularity. But the moment that Steal a Brain Rot makes it into Minecraft as well, and then you have 13 million people playing that, and we have 150 million kids all across the world who are doing nothing but stealing brain rot, it's like,
as much as I know that Minecraft is still fairly hot amongst people and doing content generated stuff and whatnot, unfortunately that place is Roblox now.
Yeah.
So it's already in the place where that's hot.
Yeah. And I think Minecraft, the like creating other games within the Minecraft engine, while it does happen, is not nearly as big a
it's not
nearly the biggest thing as it is in the Roblox or Fortnite and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway,
we shall see what will come of that. But anyway, let's move on to this story, which is, again, one of these stories that only sort of peripherally intersects with video game news, but because it involves Discord, which is ostensibly still a video game
Not
thing,
really.
at least the way they market themselves.
Yeah, but everybody markets themselves as having like gaming rewards and shit now. Like I don't know. I don't think Discord is video game news, to be honest. I think it's news
Fair
we
enough.
have to be aware of because it's a social platform we all use and it's being used in an interesting way here. But I don't think of it as video game news.
See, and whereas I look at Discord and I'm like, as a like the service largely is built around like it's sprung up from, we need a way to have video game conversation and chat and all that kind of stuff. Like it coming from there, that I'm like, it sprung out of the industry as a connected entity.
Yeah.
And in a way it's like, I get why, but then we see it now being like, oh, but it is literally just social media.
Yeah,
It's just social media.
It's
just
very
a social media
isolated
thing.
social media.
It's to me that would be like saying, oh, people talk about video games on Blue Sky and therefore Blue Sky is video game news.
Yeah, and I'd be like, that's definitely not the case, because Blue Sky's whole raison d'etre was not drawn out of that. But whereas Discord was, we want to make a competitor to Ventrilo, I think was the idea. So.
Now that we've derailed the story, what's the actual story?
So yeah, this is about Discord being used in the recent big protests and
Subsequent violent revolution.
subsequent revolution in Nepal. Not only for coordinating and actually getting information out there, but after the sort of main revolution stuff, actually literally voting for who they would prefer to be the new...
The interim prime minister.
The interim prime minister.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I would guess that this, the words like, would this actually be legally binding, don't really apply when we're talking about this sort of revolutionary, sort of intermediate time where everything is kind of in turmoil. Yeah. But at least there was a way to obtain a consensus for who that they thought would be a good person for the interim, and and then sort of have a meeting with the military and everything, and saying this is the person and doing it. So it seems very, and I think it's positive and probably a good indicator, it looks well on Discord that both that was all possible and that it provided the tools they do that. They didn't, that the Discord, I don't know if they were under pressure to crack down on that kind of stuff, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I mean, the government, the Nepalese government prior to this, when they found out that a lot of this organizing was going on, and even to say it was organizing was this is pretty loose organizing is what was happening, but it was a lot of people getting on Discord to vent and getting on Discord to say this is bullshit and we should do something about this and and fomenting a lot of no, F this, we should be doing more than just sitting around talking about it kind of thing. And then the government saying, have you heard what the hell all the kids are saying online? They're making fun of our children who are using all of the money that the taxpayers paid. So let's fucking ban Discord. That's what was going on.
Well,
right?
except
social media.
Yeah, social media.
So because the trick with Discord, and I think is a very good aspect of Discord that I really hope they don't get rid of, is the sort of isolated nature of it, right? You have an individual server and you don't necessarily have any idea of what's going on. The Loading Ready Run Discord server operates with moderators and rules that we set, and it is completely separate from whatever other there may be terrible people talking about terrible things on Discord. I don't know.
Yeah.
In fact, we kind of do know because things get leaked every once in a while.
Let's just say, yeah.
But the point is that Discord, I hope that Discord does stay as much as possible a relatively sort of agnostic, just sort of place where these servers can exist And it has happened a few times now that Discord, the larger company, has imposed things upon servers. Starts to get to be a problem, depending on how they end up doing it.
But when you're a company, there's a lot of pressure on a company to be like, now I have other people that are giving us money to do things, whereas the people that I'm trying to keep on the platform are by and large not giving us the kind of money we would need to maintain that platform in the first place.
Well, and it's an American company.
Yeah.
So.
But the idea that sort of the separate Discord things, it's as if they are whatever separate separate forums on the internet.
Yep.
Right. They're not really associated with each other except that they're all hosted by the same company.
Yeah.
But
That's the first time I've heard you say that that's a good thing, because usually the complaint is that a lot of Discord servers are places where tech questions are getting answered and customer service support questions are getting answered, and you can't search the internet to find any of that stuff, right? Like,
god awful.
Like that is where that part becomes very like.
My argument is not that Discord is better than the internet.
No. I'm not saying it is.
Discord is better than Twitter.
This is the first time I've heard like a positive note for that, as opposed to usually it's just like, oh, I have to go find a hidden Discord for this device that I own because forums don't exist anymore, or it's not connected in such a way. And I think that's really it's interesting.
I would rather Discord. For a lot of cases, I'd rather Discord be a forum or something else. Yeah. But as long as it is,
I'm not saying Discord has its place as like being able to have separate communities, but maybe tech support and stuff is not.
I feel like the inclusion of Discord as the means of communication and decision making within, like, with the revolution, it's like it is very interesting, and I think that's very neat. And I also at this point, though, because they're in its transitional state, the idea is probably people are going to be less like it's going to fall off, I think, because what you'll end up having is you'll end up having the youths who are doing this, the Youths Against Corruption, I think was their name, you probably see less of that going on in the Discord and more of that being like now, in order to be a part of creating a more transparent government that's less corrupt and whatever, we will be doing a lot of our conversation more in public spaces and through traditional media and stuff like that too.
Yeah, having that as the official government thing is probably not a good idea.
Going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it probably won't. This always comes up with like protests and things, right? The apps that are being used to organize and whatnot, and then the apps that if they find on your phone, they know that those are the apps that are being used to organize. So it is feasible for Discord to become a thing where if this makes a lot of news all the time and that becomes a place like that having Discord on your phone is seen as a terrible thing. Right.
I mean, in that situation, the trick is that
so get your coups in now.
Once Discord, but Discord is used for so many things that there is a lot of plausible deniability there, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
A lot of those organizational apps were originally just used for texting people privately.
I mean, a lot of people got very, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but I mean, autocrats got very down on seeing Twitter being used in their countries after the Arab Spring occurred, for example, because they were like, oh shit, if you have Twitter on your any of your devices, on your computer, on whatever, Twitter's going to be how our people get together and finally throw our asses out. We can't let that happen. So let's ban Twitter. And it's like, Twitter was never the problem, my guy. Twitter was where everybody was accumulating their rage, but it doesn't have to be Twitter. They will go somewhere else and they will get together.
That's what I mean. Typically in any story where people congregate to overthrow or do things that a specific government maybe doesn't like, they try to shut down those forums.
Absolutely,
right? Yeah. And technology-wise, that's not going to be any different.
Yeah.
I will say, if you are doing some sort of revolutionary type activity, be aware that I hope everyone knows that Discord is not secure in the way that a actually
Signal.
encrypted protocol would be.
Yeah.
It's secure in the sense that you need a username and password, but literally, like, there are invites and stuff. Things aren't encrypted. It stores data. Theoretically, Discord, the company, can be subpoenaed and give information out and stuff. So it is not safe in that respect.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. Anyway, interesting to see how you see technology, and a lot of the technology they're using, they're doing voice chat with each other.
Yeah.
They're doing polls. They're doing all these things. Again, stuff that was originally designed for video gaming, but now has taken on a whole thing by itself, which is fun. Anyway, let's move on to sex. Finally.
Excellent.
In the city. No, wait. Wrong one. Days of Our Lives.
Yes, Days of Our Lives. This fun thing, which my favorite. So this thing of Xenoblade getting name checked in Days of Our Lives, and my favorite response to this was, I forget who posted this to their social media account, being like, showing this little clip of it. But the idea that lots of people are like, this is great marketing. I didn't realize Days of Our Lives was even still on TV.
Yeah. This is great marketing for Days of Our Lives. Yeah.
But yeah, why? I'd be very, very curious. I mean, maybe it's gotten enough meme stuff that somebody might actually be able to talk to a writer who's like, why was it Xenoblade?
Yeah, the thing is, I felt the same way. Like the opinion that Kathleen had, I was like, the same thing. Is like, this is somebody whoever was writing was like, oh, Xenoblade, I love that game. Oh, I could just write that into the thing.
Or maybe their kid really likes Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Right? Like sometimes that's what happens when it's like, I have to put in video game reference. What do my kids like, right?
And it's like, I don't want to put like Mario.
Yeah. Or they asked the actor that was like, what would be a thing that you like what's something that you would like if you're gonna invite him in to play a video game? And it's like, oh, Xenoblade, and they're like, what's that? And it's like, it's a game on my Switch. It's like no, stop talking. How do I spell it? This? Okay, cool. And then maybe the guy, Aaron himself, the actor who played him, was just into Xenoblade, maybe.
The other options are that I really like is that maybe somebody was actually too knowledgeable, and the idea was and it was supposed to be that like, this is clearly a stupid choice for this.
Oh yeah.
Therefore, this is obviously just a pickup line.
Right. Oh my God.
So it's just something it's like, it's the like Netflix and chill.
Well, and
thing,
you can't.
Right? Do you want to?
Yeah, and you can't have them
It's
say
like
the whole name.
We're not going to be playing the video game.
Yeah.
That's not what we're asking right now.
Yeah, like the reaction, I like to think that she at least knows what a Switch is. So either she doesn't know what Xenoblade is, or she's just confused that I also really like the idea that she's like, Xenoblade is a one-player, like she knows super hardcore Xenoblade, and she's like, that's a weird game to ask someone to come in and play.
Yeah.
You know what? I just want into his dorm room. It's fine.
She's
just
like,
say
hold
yes.
up, let me get my memory card.
Can we play Xenoblade 2? I've been done Xenoblade for a while.
Yeah.
Also, if you have them say, do you want to come in and play Mario on my Switch? Like, it's not. The thing is like, as much as video gaming is like normalized or whatever, it's like Mario will still be felt as like, well, that's for a 21-year-old to say come into, or a 19-year-old to say come into my dorm room and play this thing, it would sound awfully childish to the let's be honest, the stay-at-home moms who still watch Days of Our Lives. for the contingent of viewers that do watch Days of Our Lives, it's going to feel like, oh, it's somewhat childish to be saying that kind of thing. But and it's like, well, what would he say? It's like, well, he's not going to say, you want to come to my place and play Madden? Because why would she want to do that? So they would have to pick something that's like, what's something that's appropriate for teenagers to play that makes sense for this whole situation? Somebody's like Xenoblade, they're like, I don't know what that is, but it sounds amazing.
I think the funnier title, Bravely Default.
You to come in and play Bravely Default on my Switch while you wait.
Why
would it just be like, you want to come into my dorm room and wait? I've got weed.
I hope I hope that it becomes like a meme thing, like that
Netflix and chill.
Or yeah, and just that like, you know, a couple who is into gaming, or at least knows about this thing, that becomes the code. Like, hey, let's go do some Xenoblade.
What I'm hoping is that in like 3 years, when these two characters go through like their on again, off again thing involving a pregnancy scare and the return of a witch, and maybe some sort of like astral ascension, that then they'll be like, oh, how'd you mean? It's like, oh, he invited me into his dorm room to play Xenoblade on his Switch.
Oh man, no, I want them to go really hardcore into it and talk about the timeline and how Xenoblade and Xenoblade 2 and then 3, and then I need someone to be really into Xenogears, because I think that's technically part of it in a different way.
Yeah.
I tried looking up the timeline for this game series once. It's a thing.
Stardew Valley would have been cool.
Stardew Valley would have been actually cute.
Come in and play Stardew Valley? I got it on my Switch.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, and then speaking of fun, cozy games, on a modder has
ruined Animal Crossing.
Has figured out how to
ruin Animal Crossing.
Inject LLM text into the original Animal Crossing, 2002 Animal Crossing.
You know the thing nobody was asking for?
Wow.
I mean,
I have some opinions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a fun, cool idea.
I think it's incredibly clever they managed to pull it off. Like that's very cool.
I think we just don't like the sources that they put in.
Yeah.
And the fact that they turned Animal Crossing into a hellscape.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway, this idea, and particularly this idea that it's like, it's not even, it's actually like, it's not modifying the code of the game. It's actually doing it by live patching the memory as it's going through.
Right.
Looking
for its own dialogue, it's like, actually put this in here instead.
So theoretically, I guess that means that the villagers would be reacting as if they were saying the thing that they originally were saying.
Yeah.
And LLM is large language model?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very neat idea. I mean, we talked about this like I think about a year ago, or maybe earlier, when like LLMs were kind of like springing up, and it was and then I was postulating, it's like, you know, it is a neat idea to think that you could have a video game and then have the dialogue always being algorithmically generated based on what might be a thing going on in the story in the world of whatever at the time, right? That'd be like if you're playing Watch Dogs or whatever, where you can see like people saying stuff, that it isn't like you don't see an eventual repetition of the same thing.
They aren't just like barks or whatever.
It's literally like you hear somebody talking to somebody else who's saying, well, no, I went and I got the cake from the store. Like just kind of like the moments of when you pass people on the street and they're saying something that sounds completely random. If it wasn't for my horse, I wouldn't have spent that year in college. And that kind of thing, I was like, right, that's the value of that kind of algorithmic generations, to make things feel like they're alive more, weirdly. Just say more random shit, and yet somehow the world actually comes to life. And I know that we've also though come around the other side of that, to be like, LLMs are slowly boiling our world, and so with this, it's like it's hard to understand. It's like for me, and then like what side would I want to take? On the one hand, it's very interesting to see the animals just being able to say stuff that's not dependent upon their world. And yet, what I want them to do is talk about the world that they're in, like all the things that are going on in their world.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a thing like Kevin Spam's talking about in that like lots of games have had what you're talking about in a more sort of procedurally generated,
Like a Markov chain thing.
algorithmically generated way.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a lot more limited, but on the other hand, you also have a lot more control over. Because the problem with if you do straight LLM stuff, like if you actually have like a live LLM running in your program, in your game or whatever, getting it sort of the rails or whatever, like making sure that it is actually doing what you want it to do, I think would be very difficult. And possibly, considering, how people like to mess with video games,
Yes.
possibly not actually possible unless it was something that was sort of built from scratch
Yeah.
for that purpose. Because all the corpus of data that makes the L part of large language model, the large part of large language model means that it's being trained on hundreds of millions of pages of real world text.
Yeah.
Right? And it's almost impossible to not have that creep into whatever you're doing. And if you don't want it to be the real world, then that's a problem.
Because you're going to have to rely upon writers who have to write hundreds of millions of passages of text. I'm like, well, if you're doing that, you don't need an LLM. You just need to hire writers to sit down and actually write the things about your world and just use those things. It's funny, right? Because it's like we've fallen into the photorealism trap, except now for dialogue and
A little
for
bit,
writing,
yeah.
That you're like, we can get 90% of the way there, but next year we'll get 92% of the way there. But don't worry, because if you just buy a computer that's 10 times more powerful, we'll get you 93% of the way there.
I've seen things in our articles over the past couple of years of like the idea of trying to use AI and such in a way to, like, for example, have NPCs never run out of dialogue so that they're always saying something new. So they're always doing whatever.
And I think NVIDIA or Epic or somebody demoed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like trying to do that kind of thing. And while I get like the interest in wanting to have an NPC who never runs out of things to say, I don't know that I want to listen to them say random things. I want to know, we're playing Silksong right now, right? I jam on the dialogue all the time because I want to exhaust the dialogue. I want to read all the things. I want to find all the things that are about the game. I want to hear the things. I don't want these bugs to be telling me random things because they've been programmed to just say a bunch of random nonsense.
It's like it's sort of a fundamental difference between, reality and gameplay.
Yeah.
Like when in reality, there's all sorts of things that are pointless in the world.
Yeah. There are a bunch of people I could go
them.
talk to right now who would probably give me completely new dialogue all the time. And I don't want to listen to them.
But there's
I pointed out the door, Beach. I didn't point at you.
But like, there's in a video game, if there's a weird dead end somewhere, there's probably something. There's a reason somebody put that there.
Yeah, you get nothing for free. Yeah.
But if in video game in games where, it's happened now a lot. Like some of the newer like Assassin's Creed games, the map is based on real world maps.
Yes.
That they then mess with and add things to and stuff. But it means that you do end up with like, there's a little cave here. And then you like go into the cave, you look around, you're like, why is there a cave here?
Yeah.
There's no treasure chest, there's no nothing. There's nothing to do with this cave.
Yeah.
And you spend like 10 minutes trying to figure out what's special
Knock on
about
the
this
walls,
cave.
like...
And it's like, no, this is just a cave. In the real world, sometimes there's just a cave.
Yeah, and when I'm walking, if I was in fucking France or something and I came across a tiny little cave, I probably wouldn't say, hey, you know what I should do is I could go in there.
Yeah.
I should go in there and get covered in bats.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's not... I definitely do not have that impetus in the real world to go looking for stuff.
Another thing I've read was the idea of what if you played a video game and every single time you played it because it just regenerates things. The story's always different.
Right.
And I'm like, so you want me to play a game that gaslights me?
Yeah.
Or it's not even gaslights me. It's just like, so nobody has that, like, I want to play an experience that has been like has been crafted.
Yeah. And I don't
can
know.
make up my own stories if I want to.
Yeah. And I get like kind of an appeal for that in a sense of like the whole, like there's always something new. We want you to keep playing this game or whatever. But that has a very live service mentality to it. And I'm like, sometimes you just want to read a book and then go back and read the same book, right? Like you don't.
And of course that's different from the sort of roguelike.
Yeah, I mean
randomly generated levels
that's a
and stuff.
level thing, and that's part of the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
But the idea also, to me, it also kind of negates the idea that, okay, when you read a book the first time, you see whatever you see in it. You read it a second time, you have more context because you know ahead of the story, you've learned some things. You read that book in 10 years, again, your context is redefined. As far as I'm concerned, it's a bit of a different story then because you're a different person.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't need a computer to redo the story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's paragraphs I missed last time because I thought I was reading them, but I wasn't actually thinking of them. Also, the part where you're like, you could talk to people in real life and they may never run out of things to say. But at the same time, if you come talk to me in real life, I have expansive dialogue options in real life.
It's true.
Yeah, but holy shit, do I end up repeating myself a lot. And I have noticed that too. It's like, oh, at some point he runs out of things to say, but he certainly doesn't stop talking.
If you open the washing machine dialogue tree, you're just stuck there.
Oh, God. Oh, I have gotten way better at telling that story. And by way better, I mean more elaborate.
But anyway.
Paul just going for the kill shot.
Oh, nobody in the chat knows what we're talking about because it does not come up on air.
They don't have to.
They don't have to.
So anyway, I think it's a fun idea as an exercise in this particular case.
Yep.
It's not the way certainly not the way I would want a future Animal Crossing game to be generated.
Yes.
And I don't think that is the implication of what this person is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just one of those, like, this is a fun hack. It's interesting to do.
Next Animal Crossing, I'd like us to go back in time.
Like take a half step back and go to New Leaf?
I just don't. I do not like the whole godlike nature of it. Of people literally won't leave unless I tell them to. I liked turning the game on and having random things have happened over a period of time. I know not everyone likes that. I'd be completely fine if they made that somehow a toggle or an option that I could have and everybody else can have their God game of whatever.
But the idea that nothing can happen without your input?
Yeah. I don't know. It makes it feel lifeless for me.
And then, of course, on Local Thunk has talked about that they're slowing down development of Balatro a little bit. Apparently, there's been doing a lot of crunch. First to finish the game, then to do like the first update to it to fix bugs and stuff that came up.
Yeah.
Then to do the mobile version, then to fix bugs in the
take your
version.
break. Take your break. It's
And
well
then,
deserved.
But they gave a timeline for when this big update will be coming out, and now going back and saying, look, and actually I'm just going to change it to it'll be done when it's done. I found that I wasn't having fun programming it anymore, and I was burning out. So I'm gonna. And that's that's great.
Yeah,
that's positive. Not only is that good, but it's good that that they feel comfortable to do that, and also that Balatro has been successful enough that is an option.
Yeah.
So yay for that.
Yeah, that's another story of they probably have the ability to do so. And if you have the ability to do so, you should definitely do so.
I like that that they took a very honest look at what's the style of development that I like the most, and they were like, they said developing this like I am a hobbyist makes the most sense to me.
I'd much rather do it like a hobby. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's a really that's just a super appealing idea of how do you want to structure your work, and not everyone gets that gets that option or ability, right? There's
Yeah.
so many jobs out there where you are locked into a rigid structure of what it is you have to accomplish.
I'm hoping that they're doing okay and that this is something they came to, like maybe someone pointed it out or whatever, because burnout is one of those things that you generally don't recognize until you've burnt
Yeah.
to a crisp.
I mean, it sounds like they've actually been they've actually decreased their work on Balatro for the last couple months.
Okay.
This is just the announcement of it. So
And
it
this-
sounds like things are going good.
I feel like this is also really good because it follows on with Hollow Knight and Silksong, with the developers being like, we're going to take our time and it's going to be done when it's done. And even Team Cherry's like, there will be another update coming where little balance things that they've got some feedback on and whatever.
Yeah, and I honestly expect that they'll want to do DLC and additions still, but
But I like that.
Don't do DLC. That's the problem we ran into in the first place.
I like the idea that people who have been like,
we'll end up with a third game where we get to play Chakra.
well, contrast this against Stardew Valley.
Right.
Right? And in fact, you could take all three, like, Balatro was a runaway success from the get-go. I have no idea how much money they've made, but the fact that it's part of Apple Arcade, and that happened really fast, kind of tells me that you rocketed into that position of like, this is a thing that people love. And like Concerned Ape doing Stardew Valley as like a one-person show, and it isn't, I understand there's a lot of other people involved, but that idea of like, I'm just going to kind of keep working this thing and making this thing and then just keep free updates and and then you have Team Cherry where it's like, we're going to make this game and then we're just going to kind of keep piling shit into it and then get to a point where it's like, okay, we have to stop with Hollow Knight and we'll make Silksong and that'll just come out when it's out. And all three of these people get to live in this world of, we have to assume we all made a lot of money. Like we made comfortable money.
Yeah.
The kind of money where now we can decide what it is we want to do next. And what are the things that we're concentrating on doing? Well, we still want to make video games. And our approach to all three of those things is different. Local Thunk is saying, I have to approach this more like I'm a hobbyist. Concerned Ape is saying, I'm just going to keep jamming on this thing until I've decided I'm done working on it.
Concerned Ape.
I would
Productivity is bigger than like group teams of 10 people. I don't
Yeah.
know what the hell that guy's doing.
Team Cherry is like,
stressful from what I've read of that story.
and Team
so-
Cherry's like, we're not going to talk to anybody until we decide that the thing is ready to go. And then when it's ready to go, it'll be there. And that's how that is. And I'm like, it's three slightly different indie experiences based on massive success, but they're all different in a way. And I'm like, that what that tells me is that there's no one Local Thunk did have to crunch obviously to get some stuff out and to then kind of push things forward, but realized I work better as a hobbyist. But there's no like, not everybody gets to make $10 million or $100 million off of their indie game, their first or their fifth or their 50th. They don't get to make that. Everybody gets to do that because they don't all kind of land that way with people and they don't all make a ton of money. And so, but what it does say to me is like, that means that you shouldn't be thinking, oh, I have to do it like Local Thunk did, or I have to do it like Concerned Ape did, or I have to do it like Team Cherry did to make that kind of money. It's like, you have to make the games that you want. And then through a lot of luck, which you cannot control, but then through at least making it available and talking about the thing and being a little more shameless about sharing with people, that maybe the luck will kick in at the right moment and you'll go viral and you'll make a lot of money and those things will happen. You can do it in any way that you want.
The only lesson I've learned out of these stories is that we all would really benefit from universal basic income.
Absolutely. Because then you could just concentrate on making the thing.
All it takes is $200 million each.
And you'll finally be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say that. Don't put that out there. That's
obviously if we all had UBI, then all the indie creators could just be like, I'm just going to work on a thing I want to work on and make it.
I read a book that went through a bunch of games and like the things that went and was like what went wrong with those games, and I think Stardew Valley was part of that as well. And yeah, the only thing I learned from that book was it doesn't matter how many times you've made a game or what you think is going to happen. It will always take you way longer to do, regardless of anything. And
You'll never really
if
feel
you have
truly
anything
done.
on top of that, like self-esteem issues or like issues of like what people are going to expect out of you, then that's even worse, and it's very stressful. And yeah, I honestly wouldn't want to work on a game in the same way that Stardew Valley got worked on.
I wouldn't want to work on a game in the same way that Stardew Valley got worked on physically. That guy did not have a desk for the longest period of time. It was like a meme that the entirety of Stardew Valley was made, and he like had his computer like on top of a bunch of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also spent so much time working on it because he was like afraid it wasn't like good enough. Like people saw parts of it, and like it was never complete enough for him. Like to me, that's like a huge amount of stress put on yourself. And you know, we all suffer from some kind of thing with being in front of a camera and like what you look like versus and what you sound like. And
I also struggle with what I look like.
you look fine.
I'm so fucking handsome.
I think you're
Look
pretty
at
handsome.
this shit is
Sometimes
on point.
It's a curse.
I've got some really cute pictures of you when your hair wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I still think you're cute now.
I have to say, like hottest man on TV, Anson Mount, bar none.
I don't know who that is.
He's Captain Christopher Pike in Strange New Worlds. He's also Black Bolt from the Marvel's MCU. But yeah, I'm just like, God, that hair and that like everything about. I'm just like, yes, good for you, dude. You look amazing. I wish to pull that off myself someday.
Speaking of game development, and that sometimes it doesn't go the way you would like
a lot of times it doesn't go the way you'd like it to.
Yeah, well, so here's a couple of stories that we didn't get into in the episode Checkpoint. There is a great interview with Alex Hernandez, who has the unfortunate distinction of playing. He's a voice actor, and he played Jacob Diaz in Mind's Eye and Lincoln Clay in Mafia 3.
Okay.
Two games.
I haven't played.
Mafia or Mind's Eye, of course. Very, very poorly received and very thing.
Bad launch.
Mafia 3, I didn't hear as much consternation
I
about
don't
it.
think I heard much of anything at all for Mafia 3.
Which
But
is
I
probably
might
bad
not
also.
be in those circles.
Anyway, and he was talking about this idea that like when you're doing a project, especially as a voice actor in a video game, right? You don't necessarily have that big a window into what the final game is.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't know. And it's like when he saw like the first trailer for Mind's Eye that didn't have a lot of gameplay and was kind of a very narrow thing, it looked really cool. And he was like, yeah, this game is looking great.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
And he says like, and he sympathizes with people who, he's like, he has no
He wasn't part of the development.
no bones about the game. But like, yeah, he was a part of the development and stuff. But he's like, it kind of sucks now that like those were good jobs, and I think I did a really good job at it.
Yeah.
But like, as a resume piece, that's not actually that good.
Oh, you were the voice on this, and it's like you got to remember that when you're judging the guy who was the voice, it's not the reason why the game was good or not. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would hope that a voice director or whoever's like picking a person to voice roles wouldn't go, oh, you were a voice in this game and that game review bombed, not because of the voice acting, but because of the gameplay. We can't hire you. Like, that just seems weird.
He's saying, I think for like 48 hours, I had allowed the anticipation and excitement. It's finally happening. It's finally coming out. I'm not going to lie. And he says, I'll say it here. I'll say it anywhere. The trailer was fire as fuck. The trailer they put out, people did have some criticism, which was valid, but there wasn't much gameplay in the trailer. But the trailer itself was like, oh man, this looks awesome. And when you see that, you go, all right, maybe this is going to pay a return. Like, this is going to be my game, my thing that like,
my David Hayter moment.
Yeah, I'm going to be in all the sequels and this is going to be great. And then he says, people have the response that they had, which is valid. And he says, as resilient as I am, and in much of my career, I've had to develop pretty thick skin, saying it was a good 2 days of fuck. Based on the response, not based on the work itself, not based on the work of the cinematographer, the game designer, or anyone, but it's not the actual work, but the response. I was like, I might never work on this type of game again.
Oh.
Because one of the caveats of being the face on the box is that people rightly or wrongly associate their opinions and stuff.
Right. Okay.
With the game.
That's
with
fair.
My face. So I guess
when he says that kind of game,
he's
again,
actually doing like facial capture stuff.
More of like you can see your face on the game, not like the genre of the game.
Dear, oh dear.
He's saying like in the future, when they go to purchase games, or maybe if they go develop their own games, and they share with friends what games they should and shouldn't buy, and have their experience with them, my name will now be ever associated with something that many people regarded as bad. And so I like that he's thinking like not just like people aren't going to like this game, but like the people who bought and played this game will go on and be developers themselves. And when I'm trying to get a job with them, they're going to be like, that game.
Yeah.
I hated that game.
Well, and not even that, but you might even be like, I'm not sold on this guy, but I don't know why. Like that's the most insidious part, right? Where you're just like, I had a bad experience with that game. His face was on the title screen every time it came up. I remember hearing this voice or whatever. And like, oh yeah, Alex Hernandez is like, he's been in some stuff, but you're just like, no, you got a good resume here. You've done a lot of stuff since then, like not since Mind's Eye, but you did a lot of stuff. Mind's Eye's kind of buried in the middle, and then it's like, I just don't really think this guy's good for some reason. I don't know why, So you have to hope for those moments where, especially as a VA, where you're going to have to be in stuff that gives you the opportunity to like be heard, and then also
in that kind
have
of
a good feeling.
In that kind of scenario, though, if the game gets panned and forgotten about within a year, and other games supplant that, then maybe you don't get that kind of lasting effect.
You might dodge that.
That's a really hard to predict kind of effect.
Yeah, because then
I do sympathize with the idea of seeing a really hyped trailer and being like, yeah, this is going to be really cool, and even thinking forward of like, oh, maybe I get to be at sequels and stuff.
Yeah.
And then having, I guess, the rug pulled out from under you, in a manner of speaking.
I do like, and this, it's nice here you're saying, people seek me out specifically and give comments like, the game is trash, but you're great. Your performance was awesome. I wish it was in a better game.
Yeah.
And, I've learned that I've done my job. I can't be responsible for the whole thing.
That's nice at least.
It makes me wonder if, because the Razzies exist, right?
Yeah.
As a means of, we're going to say what was the worst movie this year, who was the worst actor this year, like that kind of thing. I don't know if they do this, but did they do like the best actor in a bad movie? Do they do like awards for like best effects in an absolute dog shit film? The Academy actually already does that. Sometimes you'll see really terrible films that have amazing effects get nominated just for the effects because the effects are amazing. But like, do they have like best movie with absolutely terrible performances?
Okay, you can't slam on the table. Stop doing that.
But the movie was written really well, like like that kind of thing. I would love to see that kind of thing where it's like there were some good aspects of this that didn't kind of make its way across.
Anyway,
it feels like something you see out of YouTubers these days, at least.
Yeah.
The conclusion of this interview he's talking about, he's like, I'm not a superstitious man, but I can't help but there be some spidey sense tingling. And is it me? Do I have the opposite of the golden touch?
Yeah.
Like the shit brown touch. Everything I touch turns to poop.
I do have to, that's like, we mentioned 2 examples here. I'm like, dude, if you get 5, then I would maybe be, especially 5 in a row, then I'd be like, okay, maybe there is something
at that point you're cursed.
Yeah, at that point you're cursed.
There's definitely a curse at that point.
Yeah.
There's the famous curse of the Madden box, like if you're on like a cover of a Madden game.
Oh yeah.
That always is like your worst season.
Right.
Or
Now, if you can figure out that you're cursed, sometimes you can use those curses for good. You just have to figure out what you need to take down. Right? Like having the ability to like have something go sour can be used well. It's just a little harder.
But anyway, so yeah, and I don't think this particular audience needs to be told this, but of course, if there's a game that you are very disappointed in, please do not find out random people who were involved in the game and, mess with them on social media. That's just terrible. I mean, don't even do it to really the people who are like responsible, like the producer or the director of the game. That also won't actually help anything. If you want to talk to somebody, I mean, you could talk to like the publisher or something and get mad at them, I guess.
Or you could talk to a therapist.
But please, please don't harass people.
I don't know. I just feel like people who go
online.
around harassing people, maybe they just need to talk to someone and get their anger out, and maybe they could go to a licensed professional for that.
But please,
I don't know. Just a thought.
Please don't harass random people from a company that you don't like.
Yeah.
They are almost certainly not responsible and can't do anything to help you. Simon the Sorcerer, an old
Wally
game.
the Wizard.
Simon the Sorcerer. It's an old. It was like an old. I think it might have been like a LucasArts adventure game, but it was an old adventure game in the classic sort of point and click style.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And it is getting a remake called Simon the Sorcerer Origins. And most importantly, for my interest anyway, they are getting back some of the original voice actors in order to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
In particular, the original voice actor for Simon, Chris Berry.
Hey, Rimmer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Of Red Dwarf fame.
Yeah.
And many other things.
Many
but
other things.
let's be honest. For people in North America anyway.
That's largely how we know Chris Berry, yeah.
So when did this game originally come out? Like how
93.
old? Okay, that would be why I haven't heard of it.
30th anniversary was just a little while ago.
Yeah.
I guess that's maybe when they decided to start making it, but yeah.
Also, music by Rick Astley. Again, redone from the original.
Cool.
Also by Rick Astley, but he's
remastering his own music.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's
Okay.
neat.
Yeah.
Are we sure this isn't just like you? I know you said LucasArts. Are we sure this isn't just like this was a game made in England?
Well, it's Adventure Soft. Sir Crack Method says so. It wasn't a LucasArts one. It probably was an English game, a game made in English. I like vaguely remember this as a title, but
I mean, they call him Simon the Sorcerer, which to me is a
93.
very like UK
this
title.
was
yeah, Adventure Soft is a UK based.
this was
yeah.
this was a PC game.
Yeah, it would have been a PC game originally.
Like BBC Micro?
Yeah. It would have been not that old.
No.
But
It ran on your Acorn.
yeah, you can see this sort of style.
Okay.
This article is saying like it looks a little bit like a mobile game, which hopefully it's not.
No, I wouldn't really put it in the mobile game sphere with that artwork, but
Anyway, looks neat. I feel like maybe I played like a little teeny bit of it back in the day, but I'm always interested in adventure games. They're sort of a fallen by the wayside genre.
Maybe we'll get a code for send codes or something. You can give it a go.
Perhaps. Speaking of resurrecting old games, The Crew, which is a race old, not that old even. It's a racing game. In fact, I believe it was the impetus for the Stop Killing Games petition, in that it was one of these games where it was a always online.
Okay.
It was a always online, but shouldn't necessarily have to have been an always online. And then
Right.
they turned off the servers. And so, even if you wanted to play it single player, you couldn't play it anymore.
This is car racing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's racing, and then there's sort of some...
Should be boat racing.
I'd hoped it was foot racing.
Oh.
I mean, boat racing
like the
makes a
idea
lot
of
of
boat
sense
racing.
because crew is actually what they call like sculling and like rowing and that kind of stuff. They
Right.
call it being on crew when you're at like an Ivy League university.
No, this is racing, and yeah, so it released originally in 2014, shut the servers down last year, but because it was an online game only, it was not playable. But The Crew Unlimited, which was released a couple days ago, is a fan-made server emulator. So
Just the server.
So somebody has figured out, they reverse engineered the server so that they can it's two parts. It's a server, and then it's also a patch for the client so that the client connects to the different server.
Nice.
And
That's
you
cool.
can either run the server yourself locally and just play it single player, or they also have made a server. They have like a public server that you can access.
Okay.
To play it. So they say to keep the project legal, obviously they're in kind of a gray area right now because they're using, it shouldn't be a gray area, but it probably is.
Yeah.
Because they sort of reverse engineered the server. But anyway, in order to try to keep as much legality as possible, this is only a patch. They're not actually giving you the game, The Crew.
Right.
Which, because the server's down, you can't actually buy the game anymore. It's an Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So
they're
this would be
not
like if
selling
you-
it because you can't run it.
If you
So-
had the game already, then this is something you could use.
Right.
Okay.
This is really just about trying to keep this alive for people who already owned a copy.
Right. But of course, because of this server now being available, people who maybe didn't originally have the game are like, I want it again. I want to
Right.
play it now.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's fair.
so various, shall we say, other means of getting the original game have popped up
Or
everywhere.
like meeting somebody in a car park somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you-
You're getting your own crew together to
If
get
you wanna-
the crew.
If you want to sell a car,
Yeah.
gotta
Meet
go
the
to a
Fell
car
off the
park.
back of a
Yeah.
car.
A really big car.
Now, the
Truck, maybe.
the problem is, they're saying, after 10 hours of non-stop tech support, it has come to my attention that a lot of you have acquired, by whatever shady method, broken or corrupted game files.
Awesome.
Saying, if you have acquired files from shady sources, we are not responsible for whether your game works or not.
Yeah.
Players with legit Steam copies have had the least issues so far. Like, basically, the patch
Yeah.
system only works with the full... So, because if, often, even if it, is a working copy of the game, if the working copy of the game already had some stuff applied to it to stop copy protection or
Oh yeah.
Steam call homes or whatever,
Righto.
whatever kind of cracking stuff had been done to the copy, even if it wasn't corrupted or some bad thing,
It's something
might,
that still messed with the code.
might interfere with the further patch that's being
Yeah.
done to it.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't support every possible weird ass version people have. And this does sort of also tie into something that is often a problem with these kind of fan generated things where you sort of put something out there for free and now saying also to those who expect 24-hour or 24/7 round the clock support for them and then personally, I don't want to say rude things in these announcements.
No, I
It's part of the
will.
announcement.
I will. You can
But-
lick 24.7% of his ass.
Yeah, it's like, this idea that, when you produce something and then release it for free, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The idea that you people expect the same level of support as they do for like a commercial product
Yeah.
can be very frustrating, I know, to
I mean,
many
even-
open source developers or that
even
kind of
even
stuff.
if they don't, but there's like a lot of people constantly talking to you. It's going to be a lot, right? That's going to be very overwhelming.
One of the things that they talked about actually is there is currently an ongoing class action lawsuit against Ubisoft for closing down the crew, which is sort of one of the prongs of the Stop Killing Games initiative. And one of the things they talked about is that the activation codes for the game expired in 2099.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I guess you have to set an expiration date on
Okay.
them. So they're saying that implied that Ubisoft was going to keep supporting the game,
Till 2099.
or at least long term.
Well, I mean,
Or at least-
okay.
Again, the idea that a game.
Yes,
the
yes,
idea
it does
that the
imply
game-
that. And in fact, when you make a game, you probably expect that you're going to. But that doesn't necessarily mean...
Well, but again, it's like with the Stop Killing Games initiative, right? The idea is that not that they have to support the game forever until 2099, but that they have to have a plan in place for what's going to happen.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
They do
No,
stop
no, no. I
supporting it.
get that. But I mean, like the idea that this implies they were going to support this game long term, and I'm like, yeah. In their planning phases, they probably plan to support that game long term, right? Like, but plans don't always work out. Like, even let's go with the idea of like, oh, you're supposed to have a plan in place for how this game can maintain after you're not going to support it anymore, right? That doesn't mean that those plans end up working out.
It's true.
Like, that's not what planning does. Planning doesn't guarantee things in the future. It's to help mitigate and hopefully get things to work in the future.
Right.
Video games as an object haven't existed for 100 years. Video games as a concept, I don't even think have existed already for 100 years. So to say we're setting the expiry date for 2099 and therefore, Ubisoft was planning on supporting the crew for 2014 this came out? For 85 years is a laughable idea.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is
On the
like,
face
even if
of
it's
it.
just like long term in the sense of we expect this game to last for maybe 20 years.
But could you imagine if someone tried to claim this as a thing in court saying like, well,
Yeah.
we did do some digging and it turns out that the activation codes that you give out to people expire in 2099, therefore you're planning on, and it's like, you're right, from now on we will only let our activation codes be good for a reasonable amount of time, say 3 weeks,
Well,
and
but-
issue new ones all the time?
Sure, but
Like-
right, 'cause, like the idea here is that, I mean, and like the other part of this, they're saying that like the game's currency system, the claim is
Yeah.
that the game's in-game currency system meets the legal requirements for a gift card.
Ooh,
And
okay.
in the state of California, gift cards are not allowed to have an expiry date.
Right.
So again, this idea,
Oh, the argument being that it shouldn't have an expiry date.
or just that this gift card that you have no longer works, even though the company is still around because the game is gone.
Okay, so generally, I think when it comes to gift cards, if enough time goes past, it will still become inactive because that's how the systems work. Like, you have to phone it and get them to reactivate it.
I don't know.
I think that's happened. I've seen that happen with Canadian gift cards where it's like if you let a gift card sit for too long, you have to call in and be like, because you try to use it and it doesn't work, so you call in and be like, hey, and they're like, oh yeah, we mark gift cards as inactive after a certain amount of time. You can still use it, the money's still there, but it's just because of potential fraud or something. They always give a reason that's
They
like,
give a
as to
reason,
why,
but I think mechanically there's generally a thing in the system where it's like you have to put in a number or you have to have a thing for the system to be able to make it work.
yeah, and then they just update the activity of it or whatever, so you can use it again and then you can go use it. It's a pain in the ass, but yeah.
Anyway, there's like actually there's one story here talking about I think we mentioned that this might be happening, and it has indeed happened now, that the PS5 digital only version
Yes.
has quietly changed from being 1 terabyte to being
800.
825 gigabytes.
It's a very normal number.
And so like the it says like on the box and everything, supposedly or theoretically a change so that they don't have to stop them from having to increase the price of it.
Right.
I guess.
Which means they've technically increased the price of it.
Right. It's the whole
It's
shrinkflation of hard
shrinkflation.
drives.
Yeah.
But I guess going along with that is this also that that the Xbox has actually increased the price.
Yeah.
So
Or
which
they're
is
going to, or they like in like a couple days, or they just have.
which is
I
definitely
think that was like brand new this morning, wasn't it?
yeah. It's definitely one of those things where like yeah, I remember back in the day when you would expect a console to get cheaper as the generation went on, not to get more expensive. So yeah, the Series S went up $20. Series X went up $50.
Yeah, it goes into effect October 3rd.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Galaxy Black Special Edition X has gone up $70. Ooh. Yeah. It's gotten even blacker.
Yeah.
And is this just like all across the board, or is this just in the States? Because like we've had price increases happen in generally the States lately for certain things.
This is U.S. console specifically.
Yeah.
Presumably they might be passed through onto different other places, but who knows these days. Yes, due to changes in the macroeconomic environment, which you can interpret however you wish.
God damn, that's funny. Laserbeak says, "Oh, for a moment I thought you were saying everyone's PS5 quietly lost disk space."
No, just the newer ones.
That
I
would
mean,
be-
I wouldn't be surprised.
It'd be very funny.
I mean,
mean,
I could just push out a 175 gigabyte update, I guess.
Yeah, there's no real reason for them to do that.
The thing that I think that when I see it, I'm like, what I find funny about this is I'm like, it's such an unusual, it's a non-binary amount for one thing, right? Like it's not 175 is not like an even binary. So not like they're like we downgraded from a 1 terabyte to a 960 gigabyte or to a to a 700 and freaking I don't the next one below is 792, 772. There's like it's not an even amount that they got rid of. They didn't get rid of 128 gigabytes or 192 or something. That's kind of it seems like an even binary, and so. It feels to me like they had a run of SSDs from somewhere that are bad in some ways, and they're like, mark the sectors bad, and just report the 1 terabyte drives we're going to put into it from all these bad drives that we bought to be maximum this size, and just do that instead. Like, I know that's probably not what actually happened, but in the back of my mind, they're doing binning where it's like, oh, Intel does this with CPUs, right? It's like when they make a whole bunch of CPUs off of a wafer, sometimes some of those CPUs don't come out exactly perfect. So what do? They test all of them or as many of them as they can, and they figure out which ones are actually going to perform at full spec and which ones don't. And the ones that perform at full spec, those are the ones they charge you $1,000 for, and the ones that don't, they mark those down to say, well, this one's going to run at a lower speed because we know it can. And so then they put it into a bin at a different price. And so I was just thinking, I wonder if they were just like, we got a whole bunch of 1 terabyte SSDs that we can get, but they're not full 1 terabytes anymore. They can only be, we can only verify them up to this much. So like, great, grab those, throw them in there, and they're cheaper. They cost us less money because they're bad SSDs. I don't think that's what's happening, but man, it feels like that's what might be happening.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't surprising to me, honestly, because like Xbox going up in price, PS5, if they're downgrading their amount of space so that they can maintain the same price, is essentially going up in price.
Right.
I believe all the Nintendo Switch 1 models and basically everything except for the Switch 2 currently have gone up in price, but I think this, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 went up in price next year.
And don't feel bad if you're like, oh, but you guys live in Canada, so it's different for you. It's not different for us because everything gets shipped to the States first.
I mean, it is different for us, but usually not better.
It is different. Like we had some of our price stuff go up
Usually our prices
at a different time.
Yeah.
But like that Virtual Boy, that thing from the Nintendo Direct, the plastic one, is $100 US. It's $110 Canadian.
Which is obscene.
That is not
just weirdly cheap in Canada.
That's not generally how that works out.
Yeah,
That thing should be closer to 150.
Yeah, usually we don't get only a 10% increase over Canada. So, yeah. So if they have their supply chain set up a certain way, sometimes it means that the things are all going to come into blank of America, and then some of that stuff gets peeled off to get shipped to Canada. And so therefore the tariffs and all that other shit will apply because it's coming to America first, and then they have to send it to Canada after that. And
I
the
actually
tariffs are already
find
getting paid.
pricing to
Or we're
be
paying the
really
tariffs.
confusing conversation being in Canada, because like most of the gaming stuff I listen to is from people who are in the States. So they're constantly referencing the US prices. And we will do that too. We will talk about a game costing $60.
Yeah.
And when we say that, that's generally an American price.
Yeah.
Because in Canada, that's always been 80. Now the price is like 70, and for us it's 100.
Yeah.
But when we say, if we say on ChillPoint, oh, this game costs $100, a lot of people think we mean American.
Yeah.
So we almost have to say 70, like,
Which is why we now converted into
Norwegian kroner.
Norwegian kroner, just to keep everybody, make sure it's
yeah, well,
clear
you
to
can all be
everybody.
confused.
Yeah.
Well, that way everybody can use one set currency. Thank you, Socratic Method, for pointing out how the binary math will actually play this out. That if you work the NAND chips per channel, and it comes out to 768 gigabytes, which if you transfer into gigabytes with 1,000 instead of 1,024, you get 825 gigabytes. So it is actually binary
What was the other byte one?
gigabytes.
Gibby bytes?
Yeah.
It's the stupid way that they have to measure
Binary.
hard drives and stuff.
So GIBI bytes is a shorthand that people came up with because they're like, we keep saying gigabytes, but that's not what you're getting on a disk. Because you're getting a billion bytes is a gigabyte. Right?
Yeah, I know that.
But if you do the binary math, which is how they actually, when they make hard drives and they make like any sort of storage, all that stuff is decided in binary. And so you need to do the binary bytes. How many of those are there? Well, that'd be 1,024 times 1,024 times 1,024
okay.
times 1,024.
So to denote that, you have the GIB instead of GB.
So kibi instead of kilo, and mebi instead of mega, and
Okay.
gibby instead
It's,
of giga.
it's when if you buy like a terabyte hard drive, when you actually stick it into your computer, it'll say like 960 gigabytes free.
Yeah.
You'll be like, what the hell? What happened to my extra space? It's just...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because they use the gigabyte because it's a marketing thing to be like, it sounds big, and it's like,
Well, yeah,
yes,
no, I
but
get
also
that. But
it's
again,
not,
that's
but-
the side of things I see all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm not actually, to me,
They
to
could've
see
saved-
somebody write it out that way feels like a spelling error rather than like,
Yeah.
They could have saved
a
themselves
thing,
a lot
right?
of a lot of thing if they hadn't done the 1,000 thing originally.
Yes.
But we're stuck with it
We're
now.
stuck with it now.
Anyway, there's the Sonic Racing Crossworlds has been getting its like big marketing push, and they've brought back an old school marketing thing from back in
oh,
the back
right,
in
I
the
did see this.
back in the Sonic the Hedgehog days with their blast processing. So this is their new ad. Check this out. Wait, do I have?
Will it be successfully muted?
Okay. So this will be playing. You'll just hear it through my microphone, but that's fine.
We all know that car racing game. It's great. We don't need to show it to you. But what if you can blast through and race on a whole nother level?
Oh my God, it is like the old one.
Warp across different dimensions. Fully customize and build out your machine and compete head-to-head across different platforms. Or what if you want to run around on the open road?
I do like the idea. It's like only a nerd would want to go around on the open road.
Yeah.
It's like, I like
A
that.
lot of people like
It's like
camping,
I like that
actually.
aspect. I wish they had done it better. In fact.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah. So that's if you've there's just recently the first European Mario Kart World Championship started
nice.
happening. But people in the in the like comments and stuff. Everyone's like, why is everybody constantly spamming like, Winnebago or camper van or stuff like that. It's like, that's why. That's because that ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, well.
Boop, 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 boop. Final Fantasy VII Remake has been, obviously it's been announced for
Remade.
Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's going to be coming out for Switch 2 pretty soon. And when it comes out, theoretically, or it will have the addition of basically a cheat menu.
Hooray!
Okay.
Theoretically, this will make its... They've said that they haven't actually said that it will make its way to the other versions, but presumably it will be up. The other versions will also be updated at the same time. This says that it'll be on... Because the Xbox version is also coming out, but obviously the PlayStation version was the original version of it. And they haven't said that this is going to be added to it, but...
What does this do?
For the streamlined progression features.
Yes, it adds toggles for infinite mana and health.
Jesus.
Deal 9,999 damage on every attack, or just infinite items.
So I don't have to keep all my mega elixirs till
Which-
the end. I can just use them all the time.
And obviously cheat menus are fun and all this stuff. I kind of usually it's kind of nice with these things if there's like a more gradiated version of
Yes.
like you do twice as much damage and stuff. Where it's like
I can have double the pocket space.
It's like I can still play the game. It'll just be easier, not you basically aren't playing the game anymore.
Yeah. flatten the difficulty curve. Like you get stronger, but the enemies don't get as strong as you do as fast.
Yeah.
It's funny because it is like we're just adding a cheat menu to the game. We're going to give you these options. We're going to just give you the nuclear option essentially for every situation. Of course, I have also seen I've seen my friends play these games where they do 10,000 damage in a single strike, and it's like because you have
They worked hard
to get there, right? It's like give me a
They
thing
read guides.
yeah, give me the thing that lets me give me my ultimate weapons at the beginning of the game. Perhaps do that instead, like that, or just make it a treasure chest instead of having to fight like something at the end of the game. Those are other cheat things.
The fact that I do kind of wish like they call this streamlined progression features.
Yes.
When it's this extreme, I don't think it would be out of place to just call this like a cheat menu.
Yeah.
And like that's fine,
Yeah.
right? Like, lots of GoldenEye 64 had a cheat menu that had all sorts of fun stuff in it. And that's fine, right? That's a cool thing to do. It will be, like I said, I would like to see a more moderate version of
More
this.
of a thing of like maybe don't like
Right.
I don't you don't want it all the way over there, but to be able to establish the difficulty for your enjoyment.
Square's is that Square that tweeted that? Roll back up for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is the Final Fantasy VII account that tweeted this. They said that the feature is not for infinite HP and MP. It's to always have maximum HP and MP. And that might be different than having infinite, because if you can get hit for your maximum HP amount, you can be dropped to 0 in an instant before the game takes over and puts your HP back up for you.
That's assuming it takes away HP though. If you're always at maximum, you might not be able
That
to
no
get,
matter what, it just
which
doesn't
essentially is still infinite,
yeah,
right?
it basically downgrades damage to 0, or
That's-
something like that.
So that depends on how that's implemented.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting thing. We were talking about naturally playing Silksong and me complaining about stuff about how things are very hard. Because we talked about that, and we talked about Celeste and Tunic, and kind of the push within, especially more in indie games, but we have seen like larger studios adopt accessibility features that could be also thought of as being cheats, right? That it's Celeste, I think, can give you up to a triple jump if that's what you need.
You can have
Right.
infinite jump on on Celeste, I think, yeah, you can have your triple jump just immediately or always on.
Yeah, but like you say, they have gradients and stuff like that. And like in Tunic, they have the ability where it's like, well, you won't take any damage, or you don't have to worry about a stamina meter anymore, or
Yeah,
like
that's less a gradient. That is more like what this is doing, right?
yeah, little things you can turn on and off. And I do really like we were talking about with Silksong that it's like it would be nice to have. I would love to have a few different switches I could throw. For example, one being like, oh, when you take damage, you only take 1 pip of damage. You never take 2 pips of damage on a boss. You always just take 1 pip of damage on a boss. I'd be like, I would turn that on after I've like died 15 times to a boss. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to turn this on to take a single pip of damage just to make the game a little easier on me.
But you still have to actually like play the game.
I have to play the game. I have to beat the boss.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get my ass handed to me
my
anyway,
understanding
but at
of
least I'll get better at it.
some of the more popular mods are always having the map compass on instead of it being an item, and a lot of the other ones are to do with the amount of damage you're taking or the amount of damage the enemies take.
Yeah.
I think.
And I feel like those like we see in a lot of different spaces the thing of, hey, we're going to add a thing that helps you get through the game faster to take some time to get through whatever. But I wouldn't feel like this is what Final Fantasy VII is doing here is just literally saying we're just gonna, if you turn all these things on, then you can just fly through the game. You don't have to think about fights.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about levels. You don't.
It's
have to
like
think
at that
about
point, why
loadouts.
not just have it up thing that's like, just avoid all fights.
Yeah, because it's like you're not gonna if you're gonna walk into a fight and no matter what you're gonna do 10,000 damage and never take a hit. It's like I don't have to think about what my loadout should be. I don't have to think about buying armor. I don't have to think about doing all these other things. It's like part of the fun of an RPG to me is understanding and maybe grinding a bit to save up to get the thing that I want to, because I want to earn my way to do this. And I'm like, that's how I like to play the game, but I also feel like that's because most RPGs are like that I feel like people who like RPGs like that aspect being a part of the game.
Most RPGs are stem from the idea of a D&D game,
Yeah.
right? That's where their roots come from. Is that idea of you go out on adventures, you're going to have fights, you have to have XP. That's why you have
There's some challenge.
That's why you have a lot of stuff that'll have things like encumbrance, even though that's not a thing you need to have in a video game, or
The worry of I
inventory
might
slots.
fail also helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and to be clear, this is not, these options shouldn't be there.
No.
There should be more options.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
It's cool to have cheat options.
These options
too.
are pretty neat. It
God,
would
it's
be
cool if you would have cheat options if you just wanted to
but it
mess
would be
around.
kind of neat to have some other like more middle tier options too, right?
Auto Phoenix down. Like that right there is if your person falls in battle on the next round, they're immediately resurrected with like half health or whatever. I'm like, I would take that.
There's got to be an item in the game that does something like that.
That just lets you auto Phoenix down every time. Because there's like some games I've played where it's
that's-
like,
okay, so that's
Mario and Luigi
that's-
Brothership has a thing where it's like it'll use an auto 1-up to bring you back to life if you have that enabled, but you can only use it so many times until that item
Yeah,
dies.
but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, so there's features in some games where it's like done through a toggle system or a menu system, or you turn this thing on and off. Some games, especially RPGs, will do that sort of thing where it's like, hey, you can gain a certain item that actually mitigates some of these things that maybe you're having a difficulty with.
You might be able to,
or
in Final
do
Fantasy
whatever,
7, like you might be able to set up your materia to actually do that.
like,
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what I mean, because like in Expedition 33, you can get a Picto called Second Chance, which the moment you die, that character gets resurrected
Nice.
once
Yeah.
during the gameplay.
And I'm saying just why not just do it every time, so removing the need for Phoenix Downs entirely.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, for all I know, that Final Fantasy might have a way to obtain an item that does that.
Yeah.
That's less like an accessibility option as far as I'm concerned, if you have to go find an item in a game to do it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's still, a lot of these games do play with those ideas of like, hey, if you are having a hard time doing this fight, you could go grind or look around, see if you can find other things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Check your loadouts.
Find the back way into a place because you can't beat the boss.
You could totally take that boss.
So proud of myself.
couple other stories here that, thanks to our wonderful mods, we have a ChillPoint tip line that
They leave messages on.
there's some excellent stuff in there, and there's a couple of ones that I noticed come in just recently. Escape from Tarkov
Okay.
is on the verge of going to its full 1.0 release.
Interesting.
I know James is very excited about this.
All right.
Apparently, with the 1.0 release, they're actually going to like finish the story, so you get to escape from like what people
The
have
thing
been,
we've been mocking.
what people have been playing for the last 10 years is like the side quest part of
Oh
it.
my god.
They're practicing.
God.
They're getting good.
Wow.
So so it's going to be the 1.0 release is going to be coming out, and as part of that, it's going to be releasing on Steam because it wasn't previously actually available on Steam,
Oh, okay. All right.
which is great. Unfortunately, if you already own Escape from Tarkov and you want to get Steam features like, say, access to like your Steam friends list while you're playing it, or
Okay.
Steam achievements, all that kind of stuff, you will have to rebuy the game for Steam.
I mean, yeah.
Which
Wouldn't
makes
that be how
sense.
those things work?
people are kind of grumpy about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's
It's
a
a
way that
PC game already, right? Like you're
It
just
is a PC game
downloading it.
already,
And
yeah.
So the
and you can add it to your Steam client by doing the like add non-Steam game. So you could have it like in your Steam launcher,
right.
But you wouldn't.
But it wouldn't work. It won't work with like your Steam friends list.
Yeah.
Is
But you've
the-
probably
but
also spent 10 years playing this game
still
where you
be able to
made a
play
friend
with your
list already
friends, right?
through the game
Well,
that
and
exists.
even if you buy it on Steam, you will still have to create a user account for the whatever the company is that actually makes the game, in
Okay.
order to like sign up and join the
That
thing.
does seem a little weird. Like at that point, like maybe you should just be able to at least access your Steam friends list.
Battle State games. Here, that's it. Yeah, if you have proof of purchase, like they could theoretically do something where if you've got proof of purchase, you could do it, but they're not doing that. So people are kind of grumpy about that. And if I believe we've touched on a few other things in the last sort of 6 months to a year or so, Battle State Games has not had the best. They've made a couple of moves that the community has been not happy about in terms of monetization stuff. They've created like there's like a whatever. They made like higher tiers that were were previously available. They gave you new things, even though they were supposed to be. It's like if you supported it early on,
Okay.
you were supposed to get all the things.
What if I spent the extra money to buy a Steam copy? Could I somehow get my save or what I've done
It all
from
comes
my
over.
PC into the thing?
Yeah, you can. If you've got the Steam copy, you can join your account together.
Okay.
So that you'll be able to
Right.
go back into your regular thing. So you don't. That's good anyway. You don't lose your progression.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that's like
Yeah.
a good reason or anything to not be mad, but
I just feel like for the vast majority of people who play this game already, though, who have kind of overcome its weird quirks and maybe how you do your managing your friends list or the people that you want to play Tarkov with or whatever Discords you hang out on where you're finding people to play with. It's like you've already navigated all the things you need to navigate to continue to play this game. Maybe you don't need a Steam friends list feature.
I agree. But like, okay, so the reason you would probably want your Steam friends is if you've been playing this game for a while and now you have friends who are willing to play it because it's on Steam. Right? Or my thought was where I've seen games come out where it's like, you did all this work in whatever on your Switch, but we won't have the some games will have like the crossplay because it's like, you have to connect into a special account anyway, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what version you're playing. And then other games are like, no, cross-platform is not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
In
So
that sense. And so I'm just trying to figure out what the...
I believe this does allow you to share your account between the two things, which is nice. But anyway, yeah. I remember James talking about that what he's most excited about for it to show up on Steam is that then, for the first time, it will get Steam reviews.
Oh,
So that's exciting. And theoretically will be exposed to an entirely new
yes.
audience
Because you
I
can only leave a
guess.
Steam review if you buy the game.
that may not be that they may not be familiar with the sort of
Meta.
intricacies of how the game works. So
That's-
that's exciting.
That's a fascinating idea, in fact, that it's like you could end up in a position of, as a longtime player, being able to go, you don't have to buy the game to see what the Steam reviews are. To be
In
able
order,
to go
to,
see
in order to
what,
put a review in, you have to buy the game.
and then
but
you can
yeah.
just see what are the people who maybe have heard about this game and didn't buy it until it hit Steam or until it was done. And they're like, now I can go see what those people are saying about this. Oh, they fucking hate it.
Oh, don't forget though, we covered a story recently where you can check Steam reviews based on language.
Yeah.
language. It's true.
So,
So that'll be an
we
interesting
can-
aspect.
We can see how many people of specific languages don't like it, especially
When-
since this is a Russian game.
I believe that I don't think the developers are actually in Russia anymore, but they have ties to it anyway.
Yeah.
I think they've got a couple of studios. But,
I would say expect a lot of reviews in that way.
yeah. In other news, game that we played a couple times on stream now, Repo, that game with the little adorable
Muppets?
Muppet dudes that
A cylindrical Muppet.
Carry.
that you're trying to pick up various pieces of things and carry them to the exit in order to make money and not be attacked
I'm glad
by
they changed
horrible
their
monsters.
their cover art
Yeah.
finally.
Once they did that, everyone's like, "Oh, so good."
This game, I know what this is. Yeah.
It was the one thing that got complained about the most.
Yeah.
They're adding in the latest upcoming update. They're adding a feature where when you die in Repo, your head, like you explode and your
Yeah.
head is left.
Yep.
And your buddies can pick up your head and like take it with them to the exit, and that allows you to. I think it makes it so that you still get some. There's some advantage to them doing
To
that.
repossessing your friend's head. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Making it so you can.
But what's new?
So what they're adding is that because of course the other big thing about the game is it's got proximity chat,
Yes.
right? So that fun thing of like when people are farther away, they get more echoey and all that kind of stuff. They've added a thing where you can respawn them when you get, but they've added a thing where when you're dead, you can still talk.
Is that safe?
So what they've done is apparently what the conceit of in the game is that your head has like a little backup auxiliary battery in it, and so you have to like charge up that battery, and then you have a very limited amount of time that you can like say something, and apparently you can even like jump around a little bit, but only for a very limited amount of time, and then you have to charge up the battery again.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so you do have to work for it.
There are limitations, and
Yeah, so you have to work for it, but presumably it either allows you to like, I don't know, be like, watch out, or I'm over here, please get my head.
I would assume that like it's more, the idea would be more like to help people find you so that they can take you to get respawned or whatever.
I was hoping that it would be more of a like when you talk, it would say it was a voice filter, so that instead of you sounding this, you would sound like this.
Well, apparently you do get it sounds like you speak through a very like crackly robotic voice filter. They do put it on your voice. So
Yeah, I'm just thinking about other games that use this feature, this kind of thing, right? Where like Among Us, because part of my coloring is the title of the article you were looking at, saying that you can finally scream at friends once you've died.
right, because
makes
Among
it
Us had the
sound-
things where
Among Us has like the ghost that can go around.
like
and,
dead people can talk to each other.
yeah, and so we've got we've had clips, right, of people just like outright screaming of like, you killed me, I'm gonna get, like,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And I'm like, why would anyone help you respawn if that's gonna happen, right? But like Peak has that feature too, where you're as a ghost, you can go to other people, and yet that's actually pretty helpful. So seeing a title that's like, you can finally scream at your friends, I'm like, why would you want that? But the way that it's actually explained, I'm like, okay, I can see why you would want that.
Yeah. I mean, unlike Among Us, in Repo, there isn't, at least within the mechanics of the game, there isn't like a betrayer who's trying to kill everybody.
No.
Yeah. That probably
One
lends
of,
it quite a bit for
one
why,
of your
why
friends
people...
may decide to take on that role of their own accord.
Yeah.
In which case, you could just leave them dead if you want, and ignore their screams. Anyway, couple other stories here. We talked about this actually a couple months or a couple weeks ago on ChillPoint that Tencent is in has a legal thing going on with Sony. Yeah, with Sony about about Horizon Zero Dawn versus their game Light of Motriam.
Right. The
Motirum?
one that looks like
Motirum?
Horizon Zero.
Motorum.
And we showed some images of like the promo video or promo images from the two games side by side, and they look very similar. Tencent has now come back in that lawsuit, and they're arguing that they're saying Sony's complaint tellingly ignores facts. Instead, it tries to transform ubiquitous genre ingredients into proprietary assets.
Like giant dinosaurs?
So they're saying, by suing an unreleased project that merely employs the same time-honored tropes embraced by scores of other games released both before and after Horizon, like Enslaved, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry New Dawn, Outer Wilds, Biomutant, and many more, Sony seeks an impermissible monopoly on genre conventions. So basically they're saying, we're not copying Horizon Zero Dawn, we're copying lots of other games too.
Yeah.
And that Horizon isn't doing anything unique, which is like, they're basically saying that Horizon is just like any other like open world running around thing, which in some ways it is, but also there's very, very specific
I don't know. There
elements.
was kind of those two screenshots of essentially the cover art looked very similar.
There was a period of time several years ago where somebody showed me a set of screenshots. And my first reaction was, why is there this weird girl in a miniskirt running around in Breath of the Wild? Because Genshin Impact had not come out yet.
Right.
And so I had no idea what the hell this was. But it was very clear to me from looking at it that I'm like, all of these design elements are very clearly aping Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Because those same design elements hadn't really, like in conjunction, like in amalgamation, hadn't been used in another game like that before. You could say that, we've seen temples that have looked like this in other games, or we've seen grass being drawn and animated like this in other games, and like things like that. But like a lot of those things coming together for Breath of the Wild gave Breath of the Wild its look that it had. Horizon, I would argue, had this similar thing going on with, its weird electronic dinosaur thing, but also some of the really like saturated look to a lot of the grasslands and a lot of the wilderness and stuff like that. But
you wouldn't
I would never confuse it for Breath of the Wild.
two of those together.
Right. Or I wouldn't say, that shit's Skyrim. Like I wouldn't, or Far Cry. Like especially because Far Cry did all that kind of like graphics card punishing work ahead of a lot of these other games. And I still wouldn't say, that's clearly Far Cry.
Yeah, I mean, I would say when it came to Genshin Impact and Breath of the Wild, because like a lot of that happened before that game came out.
Yeah.
They were trying to promote their stuff to show off the aspects that people liked out of Breath of the Wild. But once you like start the game up, even though it has like that open world field and characteristics, it's very much not Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I would certainly, and Genshin in particular, like maybe when it started, but like over time, Genshin has diverged farther and farther from Breath of the
Oh,
Wild, I would
absolutely.
say. Yeah.
So I think if you look at what happened when we looked at those screenshots side by side of like, here's a Horizon screenshot and then here's a Lights of Motirum screenshot, and we're like, man, you even set up the camera the same. Like you,
And
Yeah.
well, and that's the trick, right? It's like the game isn't even out yet.
yeah.
So it's not even that the game looks similar if you take certain shots and like line it up. It's like this is how you're promoting the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly
You are
this is-
trying to create
Yeah.
a feeling.
Wasn't the thing that they wanted to make a Horizons like game? Didn't they go to Sony?
Well, that's the other part of it. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
other
Was-
part
it
of
was
the
part of the thing,
Was
so-
that there was possibly some background stuff there too. Yes, that is could be relevant.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe their game is very different, but if they're marketing it to look a lot like a Horizons game, I could see why maybe they'd want to take issue with that.
Yeah. It would be very, like, I mean, if this comes down to a real ass lawsuit and a lot of like viturative, almost got that word right, bare knuckle boxing. I would love to see the eventual leaking of emails between Tencent and the people developing this to say, whatever you do, make it look like Horizon. I mean, don't make it look like Horizon, but you know what I actually said there. Like, I'm waiting for those things of just somebody just straight out saying, Sony said they didn't want to make Horizon with us, so we're making Horizon with you. I mean, don't call it Horizon. Call it something that sounds similar, but not quite the same. But it's okay. Make everything look the same because we want people to think that it's Horizon. But it's not Horizon, so don't make it look like Horizon, except wink, wink.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
like-
I'm trying to tell you.
It's like I'd like to direct the court's attention to this email where you clearly write the word wink.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
People don't do that. You use emojis for that.
Yeah, that's why people do online meetings these days, is so that you don't have a paper trail.
Yeah, and so, I mean, Tencent is also arguing that the entire lawsuit is based on hypotheticals because the game isn't even slated to launch till 2027. It might not look anything like Horizon by the time it launches, which I guess is true. But again, also, that's how you marketed it.
Yeah, and that's incredibly unfair to the developer who was like having to make shots to advertise the thing in the first place. Be like, make this thing look amazing. Now, when the game comes out, don't make it look anything like the game you were talking about back in 2025. Go back and change all your concept art. Go back and change all your whatever. And I'm
I'm hoping Tencent's argument is no. We only intended the game to look good from like 3 screenshots.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shitty game.
Yeah. Don't worry, that's our stock in trade.
Yeah. And finally, I always like a good mod story, a good a good video gaming mod thing.
I haven't watched this yet.
This is a guy's taken made a portable Xbox.
It looks like something out of Fallout.
Which is something that Microsoft has been working on.
Yes.
But what this guy has done is made a portable original Xbox. And because why not? Because of course, when you're doing a project like this, obviously, an emulator is the way to go.
Oh yeah.
But that's not the point.
No.
The point is to take an original Xbox and all the components of original Xbox and turn it into a portable device.
Can we please just show off the Frankenstein?
I need to point out, this is James' channel, and some of you know who this is because you know Wade from Dank Pods. So you are aware of that universe of stuff. James is his mechanic who works on cars with him, and Wade said, you like to do video game shit, you should make your own channel. So he did, and he basically aped everything about what Wade did because Wade told him how to make YouTube videos. And he's this kind of halfway nuts Australian dude who's good at this shit. He makes ridiculous looking stuff.
Hot take, I like this guy way better than Wade.
Yeah.
He's He's also combined a couple of, I think it's original iPod accessories in order to get the video output properly.
Nice.
On the other side, we've got the navigation and volume buttons. mods from the iWhat's-It thing. So we've got 2 headphone ports, a line out, and an S-video port. I've never seen an S-video to headphone jack adapter, so I
think we have one of those.
Yeah.
One of the memory card ports.
Yeah, I have.
You can use a memory card.
All right.
If you don't need to see that part of the screen. And I stuck the speakers out on the sides here, and now they look like ears. Now it's time for our first proper boot up.
I love shit like this.
Now, anybody remember how fast DVD drives run? This is a DVD, not a CD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like CDs run at 7,200 RPM. Mm-hmm. DVDs run faster, I
I
think.
think they might, yeah. Yeah, my God.
Loud and very distorted. Invert thumbstick, yes. It's the
He could have modded it to put a hard drive and just loaded a bunch of stuff onto it, but it's like, no.
Oh, no.
Wade's
James
whole
would not
thing,
do that.
or James's whole thing is it needs to play original games because he's done mods for the NES and stuff, and it's just
Man, Halo.
Yeah, playing OG Halo.
Wait on. Let's unplug the power. We're on batteries. There's no enemies anywhere. Why? Oh.
How long does that battery last?
You have no idea how happy I am that this thing is actually working as intended. Hey, something to shoot. Wait, what's shoot? What's shooting this thing? Well, I'm out of ammo, so I'm just grenading everything. I never really got into Halo. I played through most of it a long time ago, but then it got to a point where it was like 15 minutes between the
Anyway,
Yeah, that's probably 5 minutes of battery life, maybe 10. Who knows? Good on you, James.
anyway, I love a good hack. And this is not a good hack, but I like a bad silly hack too.
No, I prefer these kinds of things because they feel. I mean, the duct tape alone feels just like. Feels like Home Improvement.
Because there's a very, obviously there's a lot of people out, like Ben Heck, for one thing, being kind of like the person you think of first, very easy name to remember, doing, hey, I've made a custom mod to make a Wii or a GameCube into like a handheld device, and it's gorgeous when it's done, right?
Right.
Like it's like, wow, this thing looks
3D printed shell. And
it's
all that
damn
stuff. Yeah.
near like it's almost something I would see in a store, but it is off in some ways that it wouldn't make a very good thing to sell in a store. People would be like, I'm upset by how chunky or whatever, but it's like, the fit and finish is like 90% of the way there to a commercial item in a lot of cases. And so when people do stuff like this where they duct tape a bunch of shit together, it's like, that's also fun.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's really cool that people can 3D print and make stuff look like it comes out of a store or something like that, right? Like you see that with sewing and such as well. But there is something, I think, more interesting about something that looks like a Frankenstein approach, or it feels like it has more creativity in it and doing something weird and different than I made a box that looked so clean that you can't tell.
And it does have that very like Fallout sort of post-apocalyptic aesthetic, which is always fun.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to 3D print a case for this to go into, but I did have a lot of duct tape. So
And in some ways this reminds me a little bit of the we were talking about earlier, the Animal Crossing LLM thing, right? Where it's just like, why would you do this? There are and if you're going to do this, why would you do it in this way? There are so many easier ways to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Because this is how I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's fun.
And again, you ruined a perfectly good Xbox to make it happen.
He ruined more than just an Xbox. He ruined a bunch of different things.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's all the stuff that I had to talk about for this week. But
Thank you for finding something fun.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's a good one.
and thank you for joining us here on ChillPoint. If you haven't seen the episode of Checkpoint that we were talking about, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/LRRVG, and you'll see that there. If you're watching this on that channel, then you're already here, so you can go watch it easily. And also, if you want to support us, you can become a member of that channel, and you will get your name in the credits of the YouTube video.
For Checkpoint.
For Checkpoint, which is always fun.
Do hit up that Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, but also go check out the store at store.loadingreadyrun.com.
But for now, we will see all y'all later. Toodaloo.